Hello friends. By this time, you understand how to move around in your SketchUp world by clicking H for the pan tool, O for the orbit, Z for zoom. We've talked about using the rectangle tool, which is R, and one of at least the most important concepts of SketchUp, which is the fact that you click one time and let go to start drawing shapes, and then as you slide, you can see that shape is being created. You click again to set that shape. And you know that it's a complete shape when it's shaded. You can do the same with the C button, which is your circle tool. You can click once, let go, and drag out and create your shape. Now these shaded shapes are more important than first glance would make it seem. Google SketchUp is all about shapes and connecting shapes. So I'm going to press Control Z, which is undo, so that we can begin looking at a new tool. Before we do that, I want you to understand a couple different things. The first is, and this is a note that you need to take, is that when I'm going between different tools, a good rule of thumb is to press the space bar when I'm finished with that tool. The space bar gives me my select tool. So space equals select. With that select tool, I can actually click on Susan, and you can see that she's completely highlighted, which means she's one complete shape. Click her one time, and I can press delete on my keyboard, because she gets kind of annoying. By deleting Susan, it lets us really look at these colored lines that we have not yet discussed. The colored lines give a frame of reference for SketchUp. It allows you to tell SketchUp sort of what you want to have happen. Please write this down and remember this as we go forward. This red line is your x-axis or your horizontal axis. The green line is your y-axis or vertical axis. And if I use the orbit tool and zoom out a little bit, this should look a little familiar. The green and the red. Think back to Microsoft Excel. When we created graphs, we had an x-axis line and a y-axis line. And that's what these are. Now, the difference is that you have this other line, your blue line, and this is actually called your z-axis. The z-axis allows SketchUp to have depth, and it's really what sets it apart from a simple drawing program like Microsoft Paint. So again, the red is your X or horizontal, green is Y or vertical, and your blue is your Z. Now we're going to use our next drawing tool, and that's the line tool. So if you've been keeping up with the keyboard shortcuts, you probably have a good idea of what the keyboard shortcut is for line. That's right, it's your L. Now before you click L and before you do anything else, I'd like you to just stop and watch what we do together. And then I'll give you time to pause and you can practice this. Your line tool is very valuable, but it can do some weird things if you don't understand how it works. Just like with the rectangle or the circle, to begin drawing with the line tool, you click once and you let go. That sets the point for your drawing in place. Now, as I move my mouse around or my trackpad, you can see that Google SketchUp actually tells me what axis I am drawing on. It helps me understand where I am in that three-dimensional space. So as I slide my mouse around or my trackpad, my finger on the trackpad, I can actually set it to the different line axis lines, and it jumps a little bit. If I slide even further to the right, it's black, 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 and then blue, and I know I'm drawing up and down. Now if it's black, you're not necessarily on any axis line. So take a look at what I'm going to do. I want to draw a shape because shapes are the most important things in SketchUp. I want to draw kind of an interesting shape, not just a rectangle. So I want to use my line for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my line right there. Click to finalize that line. Now as I pull my mouse away because I want to do something else, notice that SketchUp forces me to start drawing another line. That's really obnoxious. Here's how you get rid of that. There are 3 ways, and write this down. And it's up to you how you use it. If I want to just finish that first line and not have Google SketchUp start drawing another line, I can press Escape, I can press the space bar, or I can press L for line again. Space bar does it. If I start drawing another line and click to finalize it, L does it. And you can't see that, so there's no point of doing it, but that's okay. You can practice that. Escape does it as well. Now, I want to show you some things that can happen with the line tool. Hopefully Google SketchUp works with me. I'm going to press my L, and I'm going to begin the process of drawing a shape. Not necessarily a rectangle. Maybe an interesting shape. But I'm going to try to just make it my own and make it kind of interesting. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's a good looking shape so far. Now, when you want to finalize your shape, just like if you were drawing on an Etch-a-Sketch, any of you remember what that is? You try to go back to the original position. And as I hover over that original position, it tells me I'm on the endpoint. Now, when I click, it should fill in as if it were a shape. And I know that it's a shape if it's shaded, thinking back to the rectangle. Well, I'm going to press Escape because I don't want to keep drawing. I want to see what happened. I'm going to grab my Orbit tool and take a look at my space. Whoa. Whoa. That is not what I expected. When I was drawing it, excuse me, it looked like this. It looked like it was going to be a shape. But because I didn't use my axis lines, Google SketchUp had no idea where in the space I wanted to be. So it kind of tries to think about where I'm wanting that line to take place. And you can play with that and test it and see what happens. For this shape, I'm going to try to use my axis lines. So I'm going to set my position of my drawing by clicking once and letting go. Sliding across my x-axis, or my red line, I'm actually going to go up on my blue axis, and you can see that I'm drawing along the red axis, back down blue, red, and back down. Excuse me. And I created my shape. It filled in, it's shaded, so that I know it finalized. So as you go through this process, you need to use those colors. We'll talk about the dotted colors later. But the red, the x-axis, the green, which is the y-axis, and the blue, which is the z-axis, really help you and help Google SketchUp understand what you actually want to do. In the next video, we'll begin putting some things together with drawing shapes and then capturing the power of SketchUp, which is with 3 dimensions.